Hey everyone, so Christmas is coming up soon and I've decided that I wanted to create a little Christmas project, and here you have in front of you our final result of today's project, which is a little Christmas tree. And here you see there are three little buttons or flashing lights. You have a little star on the top and just a good overall tree. So let's get started with this. The first thing we want to do, since this is going to be created with the turtle module, is to actually import the turtle module. And now we can actually set up our screen. Set up screen with setting the width to 500 pixels and the height to 500 pixels, and create our screen here. So s is equal to turtle dot screen and s dot set up the width, height, and with height as dimensions. And we can set the title to flashing Christmas tree and Merry Christmas, or you could write Happy Holidays, Merry Christmas. So when I run this, the only thing that should pop up is, yep, you have this little window. It's 500 by 500 pixels. The title is Flashing Christmas Tree, Merry Christmas. This is fully customizable to whatever you'd like. And that's all we have so far. So let's move on. Now we want to actually create the pen. And how we do that? Well, we can create a variable t and represents the turtle pen, and set the speed of t to 0. And what this does is that whenever we move the pen, it's going to get to the new position immediately. So it's basically the fastest speed. And now, with that done, we can create the top part of our Christmas tree, the top triangle, or the top layer, as you saw before. So the first thing, let's raise our pen up so that when we move it, it won't draw. Let's set the position to -60, 100. Let's put the pen down so that when we actually move it, it begins drawing. And let's set the fill color to green. And now t dot begin fill. Let's move our pen forward 120 pixels, so FD stands for forward. Let's turn it left 130 degrees, so LT stands for left turn, or just left, yeah, left. And then let's move it forward again 95 pixels, T dot left 100 degrees, T dot forward 95 degrees, or forward 95 pixels, and T dot end fill. So let's see if I missed anything. Let's actually run this and see what we have. And there you go. So we have created our top layer, and we've, it sort of looks like a Christmas tree, but not too much. So let's keep going with our middle layer. So middle layer. And then this is going to be a trapezoid as a shape. So let's scroll down. And how do we do this? Well, we could set t.set our x position to -35 of our pen. Let's fill the color, t.fill color as green again, and t.begin fill. And now we can move the pen forward 100 pixels, turn it left 130 degrees, move it forward again 200 pixels, t dot left 130 degrees, t dot forward 100 degrees, and t dot end fill. So now that we have all these movements, let's see what happens when we run it. And here we've created our second layer, which is basically a trapezoid. And now it's starting to look like a Christmas tree. So now all we have to do is our last one, our base layer, or our bottom layer. And let's do that real quick. So bottom layer, and this is also going to be a trapezoid shape. So let's scroll down. Not that much. Oops. Cool. Let's move it up. Let's lift the pen up, and let's set the position. Set position to -45, 24. Let's place our pen down. Let's set the fill color to something green, and again, begin fill. Now let's turn our pen left 100 degrees. T dot forward, 130 pixels. T dot left 130 degrees. T dot forward 260 pixels, and T dot left 130 degrees, and finally T dot forward 130 pixels. And now we can end the fill for this base layer, this bottom layer. So let's run this, and there we have our tree, our basic overall tree. And we still have to add our little star, the bottom stump, and our 3 blinking lights. So let's move on. Let's move on to the trunk or the stump of the tree. So let me add spaces and hashtag trunk or stump. So again, we are going to lift up our pen and set the position of our pen to, let's say, -30, -75. And then set the pen down, T dot down, T dot fill color to green. Oh, actually not green, like brown, since stumps are usually brown. And T dot begin fill. And we're going to move our pen. So T dot left turn, or left 140 degrees. T dot forward 50. T dot left 90. T dot forward 60. T dot left 90. And T dot forward 50. And let's end fill right here. So this should be enough for the entire tree, and which it is. That's not okay. And now what we have to add now is a star and our 3 lights. So let's move on to the star now. Let's move on to the star. Create the star at the top. So star on the top, and let's lift it up. Set the position of our pen to -30, 190. T dot right 90 degrees. T dot down, and let's make the color of the star yellow. And begin fill. So we want to begin the fill of our pen. And we can actually use a for loop here, which is a lot faster because we're moving forward the same amount and we're turning our angles the same amount. So for I, with a for loop, we could do for I in range 5, because a star has 5 lines basically. T dot forward 60. T dot right 144. And that's basically all we need for our star. And of course we have to T dot end the fill, we have to end the fill. And T dot hide turtle, with the hide turtle at the end. So let's run this and see what we have. Oop, there seems to be an error, something in our code. Let's go look for it. So T dot up, set position, or T down, fill color. We have, oh, we don't fill it, we have to fill color yellow, or not even fill color. Okay, this should be good, I think. Yep. Okay. Notice in the for loop, all we do is move forward, turn right, and we basically do that 5 times. And if we didn't use a for loop, that would be basically 10 lines of code. But instead we shorten it down to 3 with the for loop. So now that we have all that, let's move on to the blinking lights. So let's create some space here. I already created a ton of space. So 3 lights in the center. And how we can do this is we can have a list, so colors, and in this list we're going to store the colors that is going to be changed. So yellow, red, and cyan. And here we want to actually create 3 pens. So t1 is equal to turtle.pen, t2 is equal to turtle.pen, t3 is equal to turtle.pen. And we want to raise up t1, so t1.up, t1.set position to 0, -20, t1.down, and we can hide the turtle, t1.hide turtle. And we want to do this for the other 2 pens, so I'll just copy and paste this block of code, and I'll change everything. Oh, it should be t1, not t2. And I'll change everything to their corresponding turtle. So t1, t2, change this to t2, t3, t3.hide turtle. And I'll also change some of these points. Instead of -2 or -20 for t2, I'll change it to 60, and I'll change this one to 130. Alright, so now we are going to create a static light. And just for now, we're going to create a static light. So we can have t1 dot is 20, and these 2 parameters. The first parameter represents the diameter of the dot, and the second parameter represents the color. So t2 dot is going to be 20 yellow. t3 dot is going to be 20 cyan. So let me actually run this, and what this should have are just 3 static lights. Oh, seems to be an error somewhere. Oh, this should be t1 dot hide turtle. Yeah. So let's run. Okay. So here, our dots or our lights aren't actually blinking, so they're static for now, and it's because we actually set them as static right here. So we just set the diameter of the dot to 20 pixels, and we just set the color. And now we're actually going to make them blink, which is kind of the more interesting part. So for now, I'll comment these out, and we can move on to our actual flashing light. We want to hold a variable called m, and we want to write a while loop. So while this while loop is true, it's just going to keep running, and it's going to change the colors of the dot every single time. So we can have t1 dot and set the size to 20, and we're going to leave the second parameter blank for now. We're just going to, again, set everything right for the other 2 dots, so t2 and t3 dot is 20. And as our second parameter, what we are going to do is that we're going to set the second parameter as a value from, what was it? Our colors list. So this m is going to represent the index. For our t1 dot, we are going to set the index initially at 0, and so this will hold red. And for our t2 dot, this will hold yellow, and t3 dot will hold cyan. So what this will do, each color or each dot is going to hold a different color every single time. And when you, at the end of this while loop, I'm going to increase the M1 or the M value. So now T1 will instead hold yellow, then T2 will hold cyan, and T3 will hold red. But we want to find a way so that when M reaches the end, so when N reaches index 3, it moves back to 0. And an easy way to do that, instead of with the if statement, is using modulus. So here we could first write our little code. So colors M, and then since we only have 3 elements in our list, we can set this to mod 3 for T1. And now we could set the color of T2 to M plus 1 mod 3. And for our last one, colors M plus 2 mod 3. And at the end, we want to increase M by 1. So M is equal to the previous M value plus 1. So let me explain a little. M is 0 at first for T1. T2 it is 1. T3 it is 2. And when you increase M here, then the next time this loop runs, T3 will be 3, but 3 mod 3 is going to be 0. So this loops back around. And modulus is basically remainder. So when you divide 3 by 3, the remainder is 0. So that's what modulus is. And let's run this. List index out of range. 2 mod 3 and plus 2 mod 3. Oh, that's right. It appears, yeah, you need parentheses. Make sure you have parentheses around M plus 1 and M plus 2. Alright, there you go. So now, each time the while loop runs, your dots change colors. And it looks like it has a nice pattern going downwards. And that's going to be the end of this little Christmas project. I wish everyone happy holidays, and I'll see you guys next time.